There is a deep and profound silence that blankets the cosmos, a quiet that has persisted for billions of years. Within this endless night, our instruments listen patiently, straining to hear a whisper from the great universal dark. We have grown accustomed to the familiar hums of creation, the predictable rhythms of pulsars, and the gentle light of distant suns. But recently, a new signal was detected, a subtle anomaly that did not conform to the known songs of the universe. It was not a sound, but an absence, a sudden, chilling void where there should have been the background radiation of spacetime. NASA turned its most powerful eyes toward this patch of darkness, a region of sky that had always seemed perfectly ordinary. What they found was not an object in the traditional sense, but something far more fundamental and far more unsettling. It is something that defies our simple categories of planet or star, something that seems to be a wound in reality itself. To call it terrifying is to use a human word for a concept that exists far beyond any human emotion or experience. The terror it inspires is not one of fear, but of profound, soul-shaking awe at the scale of the unknown. Imagine a silence so complete that it actively cancels out the noise of the universe around it, swallowing light and time. This is what the data suggests, a pocket of absolute nothingness that is somehow moving with purpose through the cosmos. It does not shine or burn or spin, it simply is, an invisible predator drifting through the stellar oceans. All the laws of physics that we hold so dear seem to bend and warp in its immediate vicinity. It is a place where cause and effect might not apply, a zone where the past and future could be meaningless concepts. The light from galaxies that should be visible behind it is not merely blocked, but seemingly erased from existence entirely. This suggests it is not a cloud of dust or a simple shadow, but something with a more active and troubling nature. Astronomers are debating what to even call this phenomenon, as our language lacks the vocabulary for such a thing. It is a cosmic anomaly, a statistical impossibility that is nonetheless drifting silently towards our corner of the Milky Way. The most chilling aspect is its sheer, inscrutable patience, having traveled for eons across unimaginable distances. It consumes nothing, radiates nothing, and reflects nothing. It is defined only by what it is not. Our greatest telescopes can only infer its presence by the perfect emptiness it leaves in its wake, a hole in the sky. This object, if we can call it that, forces us to reconsider the fundamental nature of space itself. Perhaps the vacuum of space is not empty, but is instead filled with things we simply do not have the senses to perceive. And perhaps this object is a true piece of the original void, a remnant from before the Big Bang itself. A fragment of a previous universe, operating under a completely different and unknowable set of physical laws. Its passage through a star system would be undetectable until the very moment the light from that star ceased to exist. It would not be a violent explosion, but a quiet and sudden extinguishing, as if the star had never been there at all. This is the source of the terror, not destruction, but absolute and total erasure from the cosmic record. We are watching a ghost move through the heavens, a phantom whose only evidence is the disappearing light of others. The trajectory has been calculated, a long, graceful arc that will take it through the outer arms of our galaxy. It is not a direct threat to us, not in our lifetimes, nor in the lifetime of our species. But its existence is a profound psychological weight, a reminder of how little we truly understand the cosmos. It suggests that the universe is not just empty, but potentially filled with concepts our minds cannot yet grasp. Things that are not made of matter, nor of energy, but of something else entirely, something from outside our reality. The silence it projects is a message in itself, a testament to forces that operate on a scale beyond our comprehension. We are like ants on a leaf, floating on a vast ocean, unaware of the leviathans that swim in the depths below. This discovery does not answer questions, it only creates more, each one deeper and more unsettling than the last. What is the nature of this object? Where did it come from? And what is its ultimate purpose, if any? To look upon its location in the sky is to look upon a blank space, a missing piece of the grand puzzle. It is a perfect predator, because its prey is never aware of its existence until the moment of its utter cessation. It does not hunt, it simply moves, and reality itself unravels in its silent, indifferent path. This may be the most important discovery in human history, the moment we learned we are not alone in a truly profound way. We are not alone, because the universe itself contains principles and entities far stranger than any life form we could imagine. The object is a mirror, reflecting our own cosmic ignorance back at us across the unfathomable gulfs of space. Its slow, inexorable journey continues, a silent pilgrim on a sacred path we cannot hope to understand. And so we watch, and we listen to the growing silence from that small patch of sky, feeling a new kind of humility. A humility born not of fear, but of a newfound respect for the infinite and terrifying beauty of the dark. The universe has shown us a new face, one that is not filled with light and wonder, but with perfect, absolute emptiness. And we are left to ponder the question, what else is hiding in the great, silent, and patient darkness between the stars? This object has been provisionally designated a topological inversion domain, a term that attempts to describe its function rather than its form. It suggests a localized area where the very fabric of space-time is not just warped, but turned inside out. The light and matter that enter its influence are not destroyed, but are theorized to be shunted into a dimensional state that is fundamentally inaccessible to our own. It is a cosmic dead end, a one-way door from which no information can ever return, making it fundamentally more absolute than even a black hole. Unlike a supermassive black hole, which announces its presence with gravitational lensing, accretion disks, and powerful jets of radiation, this anomaly is perfectly inert. It possesses immense gravitational properties, yet it does not interact with matter in a conventional way. It is as if its gravity operates on a different axis of reality, affecting the geometry of space rather than the objects within it. Stars do not fall into it. Their local reality is simply overwritten by the passage of this incomprehensible void. The leading hypothesis, while deeply unsettling, is that this is a naturally occurring phenomenon, a stable bubble of true vacuum metastasizing through our false vacuum universe. Our own state of existence is merely a temporary, higher energy state. This object represents the universe's final, lowest energy state, and its movement is simply the universe slowly and methodically settling into its ultimate permanent form. It is not an intruder. It is the inevitable future, arriving one star system at a time. Scientists track its path by observing stellar occultations, but these are unlike any previously recorded. When a star passes behind it, its light does not dim or bend. It vanishes instantaneously. The light cone of the star is truncated perfectly, as if a celestial editor had snipped it from the film of reality. This is how its size is measured, a perfect sphere of absolute blackness approximately 3 times the size of our solar system, moving at a fraction of the speed of light. The terror it inspires is rooted in its philosophical implications. It represents a form of cosmic death that is not merely an end, but a retroactive erasure. If it were to pass through our solar system, it wouldn't just extinguish humanity. It would remove the very possibility that humanity ever could have existed in this patch of space. The past, present, and future of our entire world would be nullified, our history becoming a story that never happened, in a place that no longer is. What's truly baffling is that there is no evidence of its origin. It doesn't appear to have been born from a collapsing star or a galactic collision. Its trajectory is not bound to the gravity of any galaxy cluster, suggesting it is an extragalactic traveler, or perhaps something that predates galaxies themselves. It could be a primordial artifact, a leftover piece from the chaotic inflation period just moments after the Big Bang, a flaw in the cosmic tapestry that has been wandering ever since. The data from the James Webb Space Telescope offers the most chilling clues. By observing the ancient light from the universe's dawn, analysts have found evidence of other, similar voids in the distant past. These are not the great voids between superclusters, which are merely empty of matter, but are instead similar pockets of nullity. This suggests the phenomenon may be a common, if not essential, component of the universe's life cycle, like the shedding of old skin. The object is a perfect thermodynamic sink. It absorbs all energy without increasing its own entropy, a direct violation of the second law of thermodynamics as we understand it. This implies it is not a closed system within our universe, but an open gateway to something else, a place with different physical constants. It doesn't just make things cold. It removes the very concept of heat from the space it occupies, a state of absolute zero that is colder than the vacuum of space itself. Some theorists propose a radical idea that the object is a form of information, not matter or energy. A colossal, self-propagating packet of data that overwrites the physical laws of any region it encounters. Its message is simple: become nothing. The universe, in this view, is a computational system, and this object is a kind of ultimate virus, a command that resets everything it touches back to a state of null information, a blank slate on a cosmic scale. The implications for the search for extraterrestrial life are profound. It's possible that countless advanced civilizations have existed in our galaxy, only to be silently erased by the passage of such an object. Perhaps the great silence we observe in the cosmos is not because life is rare, but because the cosmic record is periodically and ruthlessly wiped clean. Civilizations may not have time to reach a starfaring stage before their quiet, unannounced apocalypse arrives. An even more disturbing thought is that the object might be artificial. Not a weapon, but a byproduct of a technology so advanced it is indistinguishable from a law of nature. Imagine a civilization that learned to manipulate the vacuum state of the universe, perhaps to create a pocket dimension or an infinite energy source. They may have made a small miscalculation, unleashing a catastrophic phase transition that now propagates endlessly, a monument to an ambition that outstripped its wisdom. The object's influence extends beyond the visible. It appears to be repelling dark matter, creating a wake in the invisible scaffolding of the universe. While normal matter is erased, dark matter is pushed aside, creating subtle gravitational ripples that can be detected across vast distances. This is how its long-term path is being predicted, by watching the way its invisible passage gently herds the invisible matter that holds galaxies together. As it moves, it leaves behind a trail of what could be called scarred spacetime. This region is not empty, but is in a strange quantum state, where virtual particles are unable to pop into and out of existence as they normally would. It is a zone of profound quantum stability and stillness. This trail will persist for eons, a permanent reminder etched into the fabric of the cosmos that something incomprehensible has passed by, a cosmic snail trail of absolute nothingness. The object challenges the very concept of seeing. We are evolved to perceive objects that emit or reflect light. This object does neither, and more profoundly, it removes the light that would pass through it. We are trying to understand a negative, to study an absence. All of our data is based on what is no longer there, forcing astronomers to become cosmic detectives, piecing together the nature of a culprit from the perfect, silent crime scene it leaves in its wake. The term terrifying ultimately fails because it implies a motive or an intent to harm. This object is terrifying because it is so utterly indifferent. It is not evil. It is a geological or cosmological process, as uncaring as an earthquake or a supernova. Its passage is not an attack, but simply a change in the local weather of reality. The terror lies in the realization that the universe does not require a monster to be monstrous. Its basic, dispassionate operations are sublime and dreadful enough. Some fringe theories suggest it is a gateway, not an object. A stable, mobile wormhole leading to a universe where the cosmological constant is zero. A flat, featureless reality. The things that pass through are not annihilated, but are transported to a place where complexity and structure are impossible. It is the ultimate exile, a one-way trip to a realm of eternal, unchanging simplicity, a fate arguably more profound than simple destruction. Its speed is remarkably constant, showing no signs of accelerating or decelerating as it moves through galactic gravitational fields. This suggests it has its own form of inertia, or perhaps that its mass is of a type that does not fully interact with the Higgs field. It simply plows through spacetime at a steady pace, as if it is not so much moving through space, but rather space itself is flowing through it, being processed and nullified as it goes. What would it feel like if it approached? It's likely nothing would be felt at all. There would be no tremor, no change in gravity, no strange light in the sky. One moment, you would be contemplating the stars, and the next, you, the stars, and the concept of next would cease to be. It is a perfect, painless, and absolute conclusion, a final period at the end of a sentence that erases the sentence itself. The discovery forces a cosmic reevaluation of safety. We search the skies for killer asteroids and nearby supernovas, threats we can understand. But this suggests that the greatest dangers may be silent, invisible, and operating on principles we have not yet discovered. The universe may have countless ways to end a world, and the most effective ones are those that you can never see coming, because they are woven into the very laws of existence. The object's existence provides a potential, albeit bleak, solution to the Fermi paradox. Perhaps the reason we don't hear from other civilizations is that the universe has a built-in reset button. Advanced societies might eventually detect these objects and understand their true nature, spending their final centuries in quiet contemplation of their inevitable erasure. Their silence is not absence, but a form of galactic reverence and resignation. In a strange way, this object is beautiful. It represents a form of purity and perfection that is impossible to find within our chaotic, energetic universe. It is the perfection of symmetry, of stillness, of simplicity. It is the ultimate expression of order, an order so profound that it allows for no existence within it. It is the serene, placid face of non-being, a concept that philosophers have debated for millennia, now given a physical, albeit invisible, form. We are in the process of mapping its future trajectory with incredible precision. The calculations span hundreds of millions of years, tracing its path through the Perseus arm of our galaxy. It will pass through several well-known nebulae and star-forming regions, which will, one by one, be silently and calmly extinguished. Future generations of astronomers will have a different night sky, one with a growing, perfectly clean hole in it. The philosophical weight of this knowledge is immense. Humanity now knows that there is a force, an object, a principle, that can and does erase reality. This fact will slowly seep into our culture, our art, and our religions. It is a new kind of cosmic God, one that is not a creator or a destroyer, but an editor, tidying up the universe by deleting its content. It is a God of absolute, unthinking, and perfect finality. The light from stars currently being erased by the object will continue to travel towards us for thousands of years. We are watching stars that, in reality, are already gone. Our present view of that section of the sky is a ghost, an afterimage of a reality that no longer exists. We are seeing the past, unaware that the present in that location has already been concluded, a chilling reminder of the limits of our perception. Could it be stopped? The question is almost certainly meaningless. How do you stop a moving patch of space-time? It would be like trying to build a dam to stop the concept of Tuesday. It is not an object moving through our reality, so much as it is a different reality moving through ours. Any weapon or force we could apply to it would simply cease to exist upon contact, its own reality overwritten before it could have any effect. The study of this phenomenon has given birth to a new field of physics, ontological cosmology, the study of the nature of being and existence on a cosmic scale. Its practitioners are as much philosophers as they are scientists, grappling with questions that were once the domain of metaphysics. The object is a physical problem that demands a philosophical answer, blurring the line between the measurable and the unknowable. One of the strangest datasets comes from gravitational wave detectors. As the object passes near large masses, it doesn't create waves so much as it dampens them. The background hum of spacetime itself, the faint vibrations from ancient black hole mergers, grows quiet in its presence. It is a cosmic cone of silence, absorbing the very tremors of reality, leaving a wake of profound stillness that is, in its own way, the loudest signal of all. This finding recontextualizes our place in the universe. We are not just adrift in a vast emptiness, we are living in a temporary, fragile state of being. Our existence is not the default state of the cosmos, but a fleeting, high-energy exception. The default state is the serene, featureless void represented by the object. We are the anomaly, and it is the norm, slowly and patiently reclaiming the universe to its natural, silent state. Could there be more of them? Statistically, if one exists, there are likely thousands, perhaps millions, drifting through the intergalactic voids. We may have detected this one simply because its path is bringing it into the denser part of our galaxy. The universe could be riddled with these reality erasers, a cosmic minefield where the mines are invisible and the explosions are silent, erasing entire galaxies from the map without a trace. The discovery is a profound lesson in cosmic humility. We build our models of the universe based on what we can see, but this proves that the most significant components of reality may be those that are fundamentally unseeable. It suggests that our entire understanding of the cosmos might just be the study of the lit surfaces of a much deeper, darker, and stranger ocean of existence, and something has just breached the surface. The object is currently passing through the W3 star-forming region, a dense molecular cloud where new suns are born. Telescopes pointed at this stellar nursery now see a perfect circle of blackness where there should be the vibrant glow of nascent stars. It is not just ending lives, it is canceling births, removing the potential for future worlds before they even have a chance to form, a form of cosmic sterilization that is absolute and irreversible. The lack of any electromagnetic or gravitational warning means that if one were approaching, the only way to know would be to see the stars behind it vanishing. An advanced civilization might build a network of warning buoys light years away, but the warning could only travel at the speed of light. By the time the message arrived, the object itself would be arriving right behind it. There is no escape, because there is no warning. The object's existence suggests a new, final phase in the universe's life cycle. Not the cold, slow heat death of entropy, but a more active and methodical process of erasure. Perhaps the expansion of the universe will eventually reverse, not into a big crunch, but into a big erase, as these pockets of true vacuum coalesce and overwrite all of reality, returning the cosmos to the state of perfect, simple nothingness from which it began. It represents the ultimate unknown. It is not a puzzle to be solved, but a fundamental limit on our ability to know. We can study its effects, but we can never study the thing itself, because to enter it is to be removed from the system of study entirely. It is a hard wall at the edge of physics, a signpost that reads, "Beyond this point, reality ends." It is the physical embodiment of the unknowable. Some in the scientific community are calling for a new classification of cosmic object, a CLASS5 ontological threat, a phenomenon that doesn't just destroy matter and energy, but attacks the laws of physics themselves. It is a threat not to our existence, but to the concept of existence. This object is the first and only known example, a category of one, the ultimate cosmic superlative. Its constant, unwavering motion gives it an air of purpose, even if there is none. It feels like a pilgrimage. It is moving from somewhere to somewhere on a timeline that dwarfs galactic evolution. We are merely a brief point of interest on its endless journey, a single frame in its billion-year-long film. We can only watch in awe as it passes, a silent, dark god on its eternal, inscrutable procession. The very act of observing it has a psychological effect. To know that a hole in reality exists and is moving through your galaxy changes your perspective on everything. The solid ground beneath our feet feels less solid. The eternal stars in the sky seem more temporary. It introduces a fundamental uncertainty into our world, a cosmic anxiety that is both deeply unsettling and strangely calming in its finality. In the distant future, it will pass near a supermassive black hole at the center of a neighboring galaxy. What will happen is a matter of intense debate. Will the black hole's gravity alter its path? Or will the object erase the black hole, a singularity of nothingness swallowing a singularity of everything? It would be the ultimate cosmic showdown, a battle between two different kinds of infinity, a silent conflict that will define the fate of a galaxy. The strange beauty of the object lies in its simplicity. In a universe of chaotic complexity, of swirling nebulae, violent supernovas, and intricate galaxies, this object is a zone of perfect peace. It is the absence of complexity, the absence of chaos, the absence of violence. It is the universe's quietest and stillest place, and its terror comes from the fact that this ultimate peace is achieved by the negation of everything we are. The search is now on for more of these objects. Sky surveys are being reanalyzed, not for points of light, but for patterns of absence, for coordinated disappearances of distant stars. We are now hunting for shadows in the dark, a search that requires a complete reversal of astronomical technique. We are learning to listen for a specific kind of silence in the cosmic symphony, the sound of a missing instrument. Its presence forces us to appreciate the fragility of our reality. We exist because of a delicate balance of physical constants and energetic states. This object is a reminder that this balance is not guaranteed to be permanent or universal. Our existence is a temporary privilege, a brief island of complex something in an ocean that defaults to a simple, placid nothing, and the tide of that ocean is slowly rising. The object has no name, only a designation. To name it would be to personify it, to give it an identity it does not possess. It is not a creature or a place, it is a process. It is the verb to unbe given a physical form. It is the universe's most fundamental action, the final and irreversible transition from existence to non-existence, happening silently in the dark between the stars. The philosophical implications are a strange comfort. It suggests that the end of the universe may not be a drawn-out, cold, and lonely affair. It might be a clean, quiet, and orderly process of being put away, of reality being tidied up. It is an end without suffering, without chaos, without fear. It is simply a cessation, a final, peaceful return to the silent stillness from which all things briefly and miraculously emerged. If it is a remnant from a previous universe, it could contain the memory of that universe's laws, not as information we can access, but as a fundamental state of being. It is a fossil of a dead reality, a ghost carrying the rules of its former life. Its interaction with our universe is a clash between two sets of rules, and its rules, the rules of silence and simplicity, are proving to be the more dominant. The light from our sun takes 8 minutes to reach us. The light from the nearest star takes 4 years. The light from this object's current location takes 30,000 years. Everything we see of it is ancient history. We are watching a ghost, and it is a ghost that erases other ghosts. This is the nature of cosmic observation. We are always and forever looking into the past at things that may no longer be there. Is it truly terrifying? Or is it just new? Every great discovery, from the Earth revolving around the Sun to the existence of black holes, was initially met with a sense of cosmic dread. This may be the next step in our intellectual evolution, accepting that reality is not only stranger than we imagine, but stranger than we can imagine. The terror is simply the feeling of our own comprehension reaching its absolute limit and then looking beyond it. Its passage is the ultimate memento mori for the cosmos. It reminds the universe itself that it too is mortal, that all its light, all its grandeur, all its complexity is temporary, that all the stars in the sky are just candles lit in a vast, dark room, and a slow, silent, and inevitable wind is blowing, extinguishing them one by one, not with malice, but with the simple, dispassionate physics of the void. We can do nothing but watch. We are privileged to be the first known species to become aware of this fundamental process. We are the universe's first witnesses to its own quiet and methodical self-erasure. Our role is not to intervene, but simply to observe, to record, and to contemplate the meaning of existence in a cosmos that contains its own perfect and silent undoing. Our science has led us to a place of profound, cosmic poetry. The object is not an ending to the story of the universe. It is a revelation of the story's true nature. The story is not about the triumph of light over dark, but about the brief, beautiful, and temporary flicker of light within a darkness that is eternal, patient, and absolute. And knowing this does not diminish the light, but makes its fleeting warmth infinitely more precious. And so we continue to gaze into the deep, listening to the growing silence. We are no longer afraid of the dark. We understand now that the darkness is not empty. It is full of a deep and abiding peace, a finality that gives meaning to our own brief and brilliant moment in the light. The most terrifying object in the universe has, in the end, taught us the profound and meditative beauty of utter serenity.